Hello everyone, good morning. Today we shall do Reihe from a text called Lernziel Deutsch, Grundstufe 1. So it's level 1, and then there's one more textbook which will soon start right after finishing this one. Okay, so if you have not watched Reihe 2 on Reihe 1 previously, I would recommend you guys to visit the channel. You'll find that videos in the channel somewhere. But I'm trying to create a playlist, and today we shall do Raya Drive. Theme here we have family, which means family, family or familia. Okay, and when I say this, keep your prime focus on pronunciation as well. Family oder Familie, Geschwister, Alter, not alter. Okay, it's Alter. Family means family. Geschwister means siblings. It means siblings. Alter, age. Two dialogues you will see, that is haben Sie Geschwister, which means do you have siblings? So when you need to ask someone, you can pretty much rely on this particular phrase. Ha, is it haben? So you can like haben Sie Geschwister? Do you have siblings? Haben Sie Geschwister? And then wer ist denn das? Who is this? Uh, so you might be wondering, is it not who is this then? Who is this then? No, actually, it does not mean that, because then here, because it's very common to get confused between, you know, then in English and then word this here, which is not the same. Then here does not mean then. It is actually a particle. Oh, now that's a different grammar topic. I think maybe in a couple of days I'll speak about that also, because already do let me know in the comment section if you need a lecture on particles, or if it's been taught to you in school, in your language schools, wherever you're learning, whichever maybe. Ask them if you don't understand, or just put it in the comment section. I'll teach you what are particles. There are mainly like 7 to 8 type of particles. um, well, it's easy to understand what are particles, or what they are, what all words they are, but then you need a little more practice to understand each particle, in what context, in what scenario, which means which, like it belongs to which category. Like I said, there are 8. Same word can used in multiple categories. Wer then thus? Simply, if you say wer thus, who is this or who is that, then here simply intensifies the question. Like I really mean it. Who is this? That kind of expression. See, I made an expression. Who is this? Like I'm asking very seriously. Not like who is this? Like no, the context is different. Yeah. Haben Sie Geschwister? Wer ist denn das? Grammatic, you'll see haben, and yeah, we'll be using haben a lot. Habe, hast, hat, haben, habt, haben. Unbestimmt article, indefinite articles. You have masculine ein, then becomes einen. Yeah, eine remains eine in accusative, and then with verb, when you have a verb. Yeah, so ein, then neutrum. Yeah, negative words, you have no and not. So no is kein, with verb along, mostly used with verb, along with verb, or nicht. Oh, here, particle, schon, noch, denn, erst, nur. Um, we'll see in what all context and what all particles have been used. Zahlen, you already know. Nummer, numbers. So eins bis 100. Okay, there'll be a revision. Strukturen, which means structure. I'll first read out, then I'll explain, and again I'll read. I'll follow the same format for every paragraph. Here, Frau Ito ist 37 Jahre alt. Sie ist verheiratet. Ihr Mann ist auch 37. Sie haben 2 Söhne. Ein Sohn ist 10 und ein Sohn ist 8. Faito is 37 Jahre alt, which means Faito is 37 years old. Sie ist verheiratet. Okay, she's married. Ihr Mann ist auch 37. Her husband is also 37 years old. Sie haben zwei Söhne. Now here it does not mean she has, it means they have. That's the polite way of saying it, right? So whenever a couple introduce, they don't say I have one son. No. Okay, my wife is a doctor and we have two kids. We have two kids. That's the very formal way of putting things when you talk about your kids. That is why they have two sons. Zone. Ein Sohn is 10, a son is 10, und ein Sohn is 8, and a son is 8 years old. A little pictorial representation, you see, this is Mrs. Ito, Frau Ito, and she's her husband, also 37, and probably these are a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. Herr Wild ist 40 Jahre alt. Er ist auch verheiratet. Seine Frau ist 39. Sie haben zwei Tochter. Eine Tochter ist 14 und eine Tochter ist 11. Mr. Will is 40 years old. He is also married. Now, why I say also? Because, introducing characters. The first character was married. Here, he is also married. Seine Frau ist 39. His wife is 39. And again, see, they have two daughters. Tochter, when one with the umlaut, actually plural form, says daughters. Sie haben zwei Tochter. Not Tochter, okay? It's Tochter. Sie haben zwei Tochter. Eine Tochter ist 14 und eine Tochter ist 11. A daughter is 14 years old. They have two daughters. A daughter is 14 years old. The other one is 11. So years old, it is not mentioned, but you very well, it is clear from the context. We're talking about age. Okay, Strukturen. Dino Bota ist 26 Jahre alt. 26. Er ist nicht verheiratet. He is not married. Dino Bota is 26 years old. He is not married. Er hat drei Geschwister. Einen Bruder und zwei Schwestern. Sein Bruder ist 30. Seine Schwestern sind 24 und 27. Dino Bota is 26 years old. Er ist nicht verheiratet. He is not married. Verheiratet. Verheiratet. He is not married. Er hat drei Geschwister. He has three siblings. That's not a full stop, so that's why we continue the sentence. We say, ein Bruder und zwei Schwestern. A brother and two sisters. Schwestern. Sein Bruder ist 30. His brother is 30. 30. Seine Schwestern sind 24 und 27. Since it's written there, you can very well understand it's 24 and 27. Monika Mai ist 23 Jahre alt. 23 Jahre alt. Sie ist auch nicht verheiratet. In context with Dinobota. He's not married. She is also not married. Sie hat zwei Brüder. She has two brothers. Aber keine Schwester. But no sister. Aber keine Schwester. Ein Bruder ist 25 und ein Bruder ist 16. Monika Mai is 23-year-old. She is auch nicht verheiratet. She's also not married. She's also not married. She has two brothers, but no sisters. Aber keine Schwester, but no sister. A brother is 25 and a brother is 16. So she says, like, my brother, one of his 25 years old, the other one is 16 years old. So I'll repeat them quickly. Frau Ito ist 37 Jahre alt. Sie ist verheiratet. Ihr Mann ist auch 37. Sie haben zwei Söhne. Ein Sohn ist 10 und ein Sohn ist 8. Herr Wild ist 40 Jahre alt. Er ist auch verheiratet. Seine Frau ist 39. Sie haben zwei Tochter. Eine Tochter ist 14 und eine Tochter ist 11. Dinobota ist 26 Jahre alt. Er ist nicht verheiratet. Er hat drei Geschwister, einen Bruder und zwei Schwestern. Sein Bruder ist 30, seine Schwestern sind 24 und 27. Monika Mai ist 23 Jahre alt. Sie ist auch nicht verheiratet. Sie hat zwei Brüder, aber keine Schwester. Ein Bruder ist 25 und ein Bruder ist 16. And that brings us to dialogue A. First I'll read, then I'll explain, alright? So we have two characters, both speak like both are learning Japanese and German as well. I mean, the guy is learning Japanese, the lady is trying to learn German. Um, both of them living in Japan. Guy is German, obviously. He comes from Munich. This lady from Osaka, but both living in Tokyo currently. And they are meeting for the second time, right? So they accidentally, obviously. So they bump into each other for the second time. Maybe not. No, for the third time. This is like third chapter, right? But look at this. In previous Raya, we understood that they both happens to work in the same building. Their offices are in the same building. So yeah, guy receives a letter and he was reading, and that lady comes, and then the conversation starts. Haben Sie Geschwister? So that's a question, right? Do you have siblings? So something like that happened between these two. Ah, sorry. Na, eine Nachricht. Well, a news? Na, eine Nachricht? Ja, meine Schwester kommt nach Tokio. Ah, Sie haben eine Schwester. Ja. Und einen Bruder. Und kommt Ihr Bruder nicht nach Japan? Nein, Peter ist erst 17 und geht noch zur Schule. Meine Schwester hat in Tokio einen Kongress. Ein Kongress? Ja, hier ist in ein Kongress für Chemiker. Doris ist Chemikerin von Beruf. Haben Sie auch Geschwister? Nur einen Bruder. Er ist 35. Was macht er denn? Er malt. Er ist nicht verheiratet und lebt allein. Naja, ein Künstler. Pay attention to the tone also. I'll read once again. Na, eine Nachricht? Ja, meine Schwester kommt nach Tokio. Ah, Sie haben eine Schwester. Ja, und einen Bruder. Und kommt Ihr Bruder nicht nach Japan? Nein, Peter ist erst 17 und geht noch zur Schule. Meine Schwester hat in Tokio einen Kongress. Ein Kongress? Ja, hier ist ein Kongress für Chemiker. Doris ist Chemikerin von Beruf. Haben Sie auch Geschwister? Nur einen Bruder. Er ist 35. Was macht er denn? Er malt. Er ist nicht verheiratet und lebt allein. Naja, ein Künstler. So, follow the tone, right? The way I read it, because that is really important. Otherwise, you will miss big on uh, the context. The tone, the intonation has to be right to justify the correct meaning of these sentences. So the na first word, right? Na, that is not a negative word. In fact, that is more like aha, oh, like in Malayalam, how you do it, or like in Hindi, you like aha, wow, wow, yeah, that sort. So na is more like well in English. Well, a letter, a news, like something good news. Eine Nachricht, a message. Huh? So you got a message from somebody because she walks in and sees him, right? That he's going through a letter. He's reading a letter. Mr. Will says, "Yes, my sister's coming to Tokyo." He's happy about it. He just got the news, and the lady comes and asks, "Oh, a news." She's asked, "Oh, you have siblings? Nice. I didn't know that. Like, you have siblings? Sie haben eine Schwester. You have a sister." He says yes and a brother. So he's continuing the sentence. Yes und einen Bruder. So Maskulin Akkusativ, that's for einen. Und kommt Ihr Bruder nicht nach Japan? She's asking, and your brother didn't come to Japan? She says, nein, no, Peter, which is the German way of calling Peter, Peter is erst 17. Now, the word erst, if you think about it, where have you learned that? Like, okay, erst, like numbers, but here it has completely different, does not mean first. Instead, it means just. Like, it's quantifying, more of a quantifying. So, it's a particle. Like, Peter is just 17. You know, he's not that big. He's not an adult. Still a school going child. Und geht noch zur Schule and still goes to school and he has to go to school. You know, is a 17-year-old who has school. That's what they mean, right? So both noch and erst, like I said, are particles. They add nuances. They don't change the sentence structures, but they add nuances to the sentence. It becomes more meaningful. Hence, communication becomes easy. I'll continue. Meine Schwester hat in Tokyo einen Kongress. He says, my sister has a conference. Congress is conference in Tokyo. Meine Schwester hat in Tokyo einen Kongress. Einen Kongress? She asks, a conference? What kind of conference? Ja, hier ist ein Kongress für Chemiker, he says. Like, oh, yes, there's a conference for chemists. So, chemiker is, which means chemist. Who's chemist? Herr Wills, that is, what's his name? Thomas Will. Yeah, Thomas Will's sister, Doris, is a chemist. That's why he says, Doris is Chemikerin von Beruf. She's a chemist by profession. And then he also asked Miss Ito a question. He asked, haben Sie auch Geschwister? Do you also have siblings? Disappointedly, though, she says, yeah, a brother, only a brother. No, ein Bruder. Yes, I got a brother. Er ist 35, he's 35 years old. Can you imagine? So in that tone, she's she starts complaining, right? Uh, because she's disappointed. Er ist 35. Why she's disappointed? That you understand. Havel says, was macht er denn? What does he do? Er malt. He paints. He's a painter, he's an artist, right? So he paints. Er ist nicht verheiratet und lebt allein. He says, she says that he, is unmarried. He, is 35-year-old, still not married. He lives alone, and I'm worried about him. In that tone. So that shows an elder sister worriness. Naya, ein Künstler, well, a typical artist. So she's saying that, artists, right? They marry late, they like to be alone, more of their creativity, stuff like that. So once again, I'll read it for you. Na, eine Nachricht? Ja, meine Schwester kommt nach Tokio. Ah, Sie haben eine Schwester. Ja, und einen Bruder. Und kommt Ihr Bruder nicht nach Japan? Nein, Peter ist erst 17 und geht noch zur Schule. Meine Schwester hat in Tokio einen Kongress. Ein Kongress? Ja, hier ist ein Kongress für Chemiker. Doris ist Chemikerin von Beruf. Haben Sie auch Geschwister? Nur ein Bruder. Er ist 35. Was macht er denn? Er malt. Er ist nicht verheiratet und lebt allein. Naja, ein Künstler. Let's move on to Dialog B. Wer ist denn das? Does not mean who is this then? No, it means who's this or who's that. This conversation is taking place between Dino Bota and Monica Mai. I'll explain the context. The scenario is Monica Mai is showing her family photographs to Dino Bota, and the following conversation takes place. Ist das deine Familie? Ja, hier, das ist mein Vater. Das ist dein Vater? Er ist noch jung. Nein, er ist schon 60. Er hat zwei Brüder. Das hier ist Onkel Max. Und das ist Onkel Franz. Und deine Mutter? Hier, das ist sie. Sie ist 55. Und das ist Ihre Schwester, Tante Lore. Hast du Geschwister? Ja, ich habe zwei Brüder. Hier, das ist Gerd. Er geht noch zur Schule. Er ist 16. Und das ist Martin. Und sind das deine Großeltern? Ja, sie sind schon sehr alt. Mein Großvater ist 85, meine Großmutter ist 83. Is that your family? Is this your family? Is that deine Familie? Means, is this your family? Monica says, yeah, here, look at this. Das ist mein Vater. This is my father. And he goes like, das ist dein Vater. That's your dad. He's not young. He looks, he's quite young. She says, no, no, he's already 60. He's 60, it's pretty old. Um, had zwei Brüder. He has two brothers. Maybe the brothers also are there in the picture. And that's why she introduced, shows them. This is Uncle Max. See, uncle is onkel, and they don't read Max. They read Max. That's why das here is Onkel Max. Und das ist Onkel Franz, not Franz, but Franz. See? Pronunciation. And then Dinobada asks, und deine Mutter? And your mother? She finds out, here, das ist sie. This is my mother. Sie ist 55. She's 55. 55. Und das ist ihre Schwester. So, and she says, und das ist ihre Schwester. And this is her sister. My mother's sister. Tante Lore. Aunt Lore. Hast du Geschwister? Dinobota asks. Do you also have siblings? Do you have siblings? Monica says, ja, ich habe zwei Brüder. I have two brothers. Hier, das ist Gerd. Er geht noch zur Schule. Er ist 16. Er ist erst 16. Und das ist Martin. So both, Gerd und Martin, about both, she explains. Dino probably sees an old couple and asks, und sind das deine Großeltern? And are these your grandparents? She says, yeah, sie sind schon sehr alt. They are already very old. They're pretty old. Mein Großvater ist 85, meine Großmutter ist 83. My grandfather is 85, 85, 85. My grandmother is 83 years old. It's not written years old, but context makes it very clear. So friends, that was end of Raya Dry. Hope you're enjoying. Please do comment and let us know what kind of content you love. I'm also thinking to put a lot of grammar lessons to it, and this will be a more of a free resource for you guys. So do tell me and recommend what is it you wanna fix. I also give lessons for spoken German, where I mainly give significance to the right pronunciation, the right intonation. Intonation is the tone, how you say a particular sentence. Then accent, yes. Fluency, absolutely. So these four things I really focus on while I teach spoken German.